The Nightbeat starts right now.
Crime victims have rights, and so do their families. The goal of the rally today to make sure people know that, what you're entitled to if your loved one died in a violent crime.
He nearly lost his life in a farming accident, and now he's giving back the same thing that saved his life: blood.
And the rising issue of people abandoning their pandemic pups now affecting a local restaurant whose owner says they've had some left at their place, where those dogs are now.
Up first tonight on the Nightbeat, their loved ones are gone, but that doesn't mean their voices have disappeared. That's the message behind today's rally for National Crimes Victims' Rights Week.
Families gathered at the Bexar County Courthouse for support and to hear from law enforcement about what rights and services they're entitled to.
Georgie had his whole future planned. It was, we were in shock when all our plans were taken.
19-year-old George Ramos was a professional boxer and poised to take over the family business when he was gunned down in broad daylight, June of 2019.
The person who murdered my son was looking for him the night before to rob him and take his money, his jewelry.
His mother, Jessica Ramos, says the two suspects have still not been caught.
Of course, we miss him every day.
The sentiment of dozens of families who gathered on the steps of the Bexar County Courthouse today, hearts hurting and minds set on justice.
It is my hope that you all will get some closure someday.
District Attorney Joe Gonzalez spoke at the rally today for crime victims, wanting families to know their rights.
The right to be informed of the status of a case when it is filed in our office. You have a right to file for victims' compensation, and we will certainly help navigate with you through that process. We can go with you to court whenever there's a court appearance.
Gonzalez acknowledged shortcomings in victim services and updated the group on some new policies.
To increase the speed within which we have contact with the victims and the surviving family members of these kinds of cases. We strive to reach out to these families within 48 hours if possible.
To help start the process for healing and justice.
We've met a lot of great people that are going through the same thing as us. And it's just hard because we all want justice for each other.
Was blind, but now I see.
Each speaker and each family had one similar message. If you have information about a case that has not been solved yet, gather your courage and report it. If you're a survivor of a violent crime or a family member, reach out to the DA's Victims Assistance Division, 210-335-2105.
New tonight on the Nightbeat, we now know the name of a man killed in a motorcycle crash on I-35 this morning. He has been identified as 49-year-old Eduardo Valdez, according to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. A crash happened around 4 a.m. at the I-35 North and Highway 90 exchange on the south side. San Antonio police say Valdez lost control of his motorcycle as he was going around a curve. He then hit a curb as he was thrown from his bike. Police say he was pronounced dead at the scene.
A man is in serious condition following a shooting near downtown overnight. The man told San Antonio police he was shot at a location on the east side just before 5 a.m. He was able to drive off and call for help in a parking lot off West Martin Street near I-10 and I-35, that exchange there. He was taken to BAMC, and so far there's no description for the suspect. While San Antonio police were responding to a fatal shooting last month, they say a man slashed the tires on their patrol vehicle, and now that suspect has been arrested. 21-year-old Valentin Jimenez Jr. is facing a criminal mischief charge. The incident happened back on March 14th when Kevin Johnson was shot and killed by San Antonio police. Afterwards, a large crowd of people gathered near the scene. Members of that crowd chanted obscenities, rocked a patrol vehicle, and slashed a patrol vehicle's tire. On body cam and dash cam video, Jimenez matched the description of the suspect who slashed the tires, according to an arrest warrant. After being arrested, Jimenez allegedly admitted to that crime.
Outside with live cam tonight in and around San Antonio in Bexar County, it has just been a warm, humid night. Perhaps you saw, though, some cool clouds, some high clouds moving in from the north. Those were because we had some severe thunderstorms at times across parts of the hill country. They just didn't move very much, so all that activity was confined to parts of the hill country this evening. Here's a look at radar and how things stand currently. Again, nothing happening around San Antonio, New Braunfels, Bernie, Medina Lake. We do have one thunderstorm cell hanging on across a portion of western Edwards and far eastern Valverde County. This is well west of Rock Springs and also well north of Del Rio. The storm was severe warned just about 15 minutes ago, but it has since weakened. The severe thunderstorm warning has expired, and now we've just got some rain and some small hail falling just off to the northeast and then to the northeast of Devil's River State Natural Area and then to the west of Rock Springs. That's the only remaining storm. It should really weaken and fizzle out, and then we'll be quiet through the overnight hours. Another chance of late day showers and storms tomorrow. More on that in your Sunday forecast coming up in a bit.
Thank you, Katie. A Pleasanton man is reflecting on a farming accident that nearly cut off his arm, causing him to lose a large amount of blood and nearly killing him. 1 year later, he tells the Night Team's Lee Waldman he's giving back to help others the same way he was helped.
The scars run deep along Scott Mussey's arm.
It's mostly functional. I still don't have any nerve feeling in my index finger or my thumb.
All things considered, it's a small price to pay after a farming accident April 14th, 2021 nearly took him away from his family.
I was almost done working on my little project, and I heard a loud noise, and it was just like a big pop.
His arm was severed down to the bone. Mussey was bleeding heavily. His medical team later said he lost nearly half of his body's blood while his wife, Melissa, applied pressure to the wound.
I had conversations with him. I had conversations with the 911 operator. I had conversations with God.
Mussey was flown to University Medical Center by San Antonio Air Life. He was given 2 transfusions of whole blood on the way.
I can 100% say without that blood, his outcome would have been different. It would have been obviously a lot more detrimental.
Mussey's surgeon told him as a safety protocol he had to wait before he could donate blood.
It's been 1 year since my accident, and so I'm ready to roll up my sleeve today.
Mussey's donation also special because it was on the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center's brand new Alex machine.
It's kind of our machine that collects dual donations. It can collect plasma and red blood cells. It has a smaller needle.
The STBTC has 8 of these machines, which allows them to collect more blood cells and plasma needed, which can help a greater number of patients, giving others like Mussey a second chance.
There's things that he would be missing, and we're so grateful that he's not going to have to miss anything.
Ruiz with the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center says they'll have the Alex machines on 4 of their mobile donation sites next month. They'll be able to do plasma-only collections, which will give them another option for their mobile procedures. Reporting live, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Lee. The Texas National Guard member who died trying to save migrants from drowning in the Rio Grande is now laid to rest following funeral services today. The funeral for Bishop Evans held in Arlington, followed by burial services at the Dallas-Fort Worth National Cemetery. Evans posthumously promoted to the rank of sergeant. The 22-year-old drowned attempting to rescue 2 migrants crossing the Rio Grande River on April 22nd. His body then recovered and identified on Monday. Although Sergeant Bishop was not authorized to enter the water, he disobeyed those orders to try to save the migrants.
Now to Ukraine, where those still in Mariupol are facing harsh circumstances. They're running low on food and water as Russian forces continue the attack on the city. The Russians are now focused on east and south Ukraine after failing to take over Kyiv. A United States Marine veteran died while fighting in Ukraine, marking the first American killed there. Today, Ukraine's defense ministry saying Russia still has up to 20 cruise missiles on carriers that could be launched at any time. Protesters gathered in Kyiv today to call on international leaders to negotiate humanitarian corridors for those still trapped in the city.
Back here at home, we have a road closure we need to tell you about that will be affecting lanes on I-35 on the northeast side tomorrow. Take a look at the map. The closure will happen between O'Connor and North Weidner roads from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That closure happening because CPS Energy working on a transmission line construction project in the area. Drivers urged to take alternate routes for the time being, and if needed, the closure could happen again next month.
Devastating tornado damage in the Midwest. We'll have a breakdown of all the damage that thankfully claimed no lives. Plus, jazz music taking over NOLA more than usual, all for Jazz Fest. That's making a return after a 2-year hiatus. What it means for the musicians who live to play jazz music.
And up next, food, beer, and abandoned dogs. That's the scene at one local restaurant. What some staff have done to step up and help. We'll tell you all about it. Last night on the Nightbeat, we told you about the overcrowding issues at animal care services due to the increase of people abandoning their dogs. But it's not the only place being affected.
Yeah, people are purposely leaving their pets behind at a local restaurant. Hops and Hounds is a bar and restaurant catered to dogs and their owners. As the Night Team's John Paul Barajas reports, other customers and staff have stepped up, but in their own words, they can't adopt every dog left behind.
It's a dog lover's paradise. Dogs everywhere playing and plenty of cold drinks and food to pass the day. Hops and Hounds concept marketing to dog owners, although successful, is now running into issues of people abandoning their pups at their establishment.
That really sucks. I mean, it's like a terrible thing to do to a dog. You know, I mean, what's more faithful than a dog? And they love you unconditionally and you just leave them behind.
If you get a dog, you're in a commitment for a long time, and so it just kind of makes me sad to see people do that because, you know, they're here for us and they love us so much.
These two were left behind in one of the pens where the dogs are allowed to roam free back on April 16th, according to management, making it the third time it's happened in the 2 years the restaurant has been open. General Manager Alana Diaz explains it just happening once is too many.
It's frustrating on our end because we aren't a dog shelter, so we don't have the equipment or anything to take care of dogs.
The two pups from the most recent abandonment were taken in by a customer for the weekend. After no luck in finding the owner, they were taken to Charming Pet Rescue. The other dogs who were left behind were adopted by an employee and a different customer. To stop dogs from being abandoned here in the future, we're told they are setting up security cameras as well as having employees inside the dog pens at all times so someone can't just unleash their dog, stay Shasta, and walk out.
And to see these dogs kind of just confused and sad, I mean, they always just look so sad whenever we are petting them or even feeding them. I mean, they just have a sad face on them and it's just heartbreaking.
We're also told that Hops and Hounds has a close relationship with the Humane Society, but even then, shelters are filling up or are already at capacity. The problem of dogs being given back or abandoned is such an issue right now that City Council plans to have a meeting on it tomorrow. At Hops and Hounds, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Sad to see that's happening.
Yeah, well, at least they have people coming in and taking care of that situation.
Yeah.
Katie.
Hi.
Katie, I was going to say, what Katie's taking care of is.
I can see behind me that my iPad is not connected to Storm Pins.
That's all right. I'm not working either because I didn't know I was supposed to read the first part of that script going into it. So I'm broke too.
Maybe they didn't notice it.
Here we go. There we go.
All fixed.
Always, this iPad just
all
likes to do that to me.
Let's restart.
3, 2,
1, go.
Katie, pay attention. Okay, here we go. So cool clouds for the majority of us this evening and no rain. The storm stayed pretty stationary across the hill country, but they did send us some really great what we call blow-off cloud cover. So the clouds from the top of the storm got pushed down to the south, and that's what we were able to see around San Antonio this evening, and that shows up on our satellite picture as well. I'm running through the past 3 hours or so, and you can see those isolated storms that were north and west of San Antonio. A few of them more severe at times, with large hail being the big concern, but all that blow-off cloud cover did get sent down to the San Antonio area and Bexar County. The one storm that we have left is not severe, but this green box means that a flash flood warning was actually just issued. This is for far western Edwards County, so here's Rock Springs. This is well west of Rock Springs and north of Carter Valley, well northeast of Comstock in Valverde County here. This storm is not moving. These storms this evening just have not been moving fast. Their speeds have been anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So all that heavy rain has been falling over the same spot, which looks like it's between 277 and 377. mainly across western Edwards County. So if we've got some folks out there, there is a flash flood warning for some heavy rain as that storm continues to fizzle out. But otherwise, it is quiet out there. There it is, the one storm that we've got left. Now, there is some ongoing storms and severe weather, but it's way to our east, closer to Bryan College Station and then north of the Houston area. These isolated storms this evening and tonight are right along a weak frontal boundary, a weak cold front that's sitting just to our north. That's going to lift back to the north overnight and take any concern for any more thunderstorm development with it. And generally speaking, overnight, things are going to be quiet. The clouds come building back in. So before sunrise, tomorrow morning, our skies will be overcast once again. We're also looking at some very light shower activity and a few sprinkles from time to time tomorrow morning into the lunchtime hour and even potentially lingering into early afternoon. So I don't expect any storms during the day tomorrow, but there could be a few light passing showers at times. The window for any thunderstorms, that's going to come very late in the day on Sunday. And what I'll be watching for tomorrow evening is thunderstorms that develop out way to the west, out closer to the Big Bend region of Texas, northern Mexico, along the West Texas dry line. Those storms, as they develop tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, they're going to try to move east and towards San Antonio and the I-35 corridor. Now, they're likely going to really weaken as they move east, and there's not even a total guarantee that they'll get all the way here, but we do have some forecast models that want to sustain these storms to I-35 in the San Antonio area very late tomorrow night, with some even lingering activity into the pre-dawn hours of Monday morning. So any concern for storms Sunday is going to come after sunset, really several hours after sunset, and then into the overnight hours. These storms tomorrow will initially be at their strongest and most severe way to the west along the dry line. So numerous severe storms possible as you get into the Panhandle, Lubbock down to Midland, Odessa. And then in some of our far westernmost counties like Valverde County, a few scattered strong to severe storms initially. Again, by the time they get here, if they can make it here, they should be in a weakened state. But nonetheless, a few rumbles of thunder will be possible really late tomorrow. Temperature-wise now, it is still warm. We're near 80 at the airport, 80 at Stinson, and it is still muggy. Our dew points are up there in the oppressively humid range. Tomorrow will be another humid day, but we'll have more wind tomorrow. Our wind gusts will be back close to 25 miles per hour at times tomorrow. So that'll be the difference really from today. Today we didn't have much wind at all. Tomorrow the wind will be a lot more noticeable. Not a terrible thing because when it is this muggy, at least the breeze helps to keep things moving just a little bit, guys.
Yeah, I was on a walk yesterday and we needed that breeze badly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like somebody breathing the warm air on you. It's wonderful. All right, Larry, the number of UTSA Roadrunners doubled today in the NFL.
Yeah, there were 262 players drafted in this year's NFL draft. 2 come from UTSA, bringing the total amount of draftees from UTSA to 4 coming up. Spencer Burford learning from one of the best in the NFL, and DeMarvin Leal, who's a Pittsburgh Steeler, talks to us about the waiting game coming up.
Hello?
Hey, is this Tariq?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Tariq, it's John Schneider with Seattle Seahawks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Just over here waiting to hear my name called.
Well, your name is being called right here, brother. We can't wait to get you up here, okay?
That's Seattle General Manager John Schneider calling Tariq Woolen to tell him he's a Seahawk in big board sports.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
2 more UTSA Roadrunners were drafted into the NFL today when Spencer Burford and Tariq Woolen got phone calls on the final day of the NFL draft. Burford went in the 4th round of the San Francisco 49ers with the 134th overall selection, and he's excited to learn from Niners left tackle Trent Williams, a 12-year NFL veteran.
Trent Williams is a freak of nature. I'm just glad I got the selection, so I can go in and learn as much as possible from I can from that dude. At the end of the day, I like to watch his game. I like to study his style of play. So actually being able to get the opportunity and the chance to meet with him and actually have a chance to play with the dude, it's a blessing at the end of the day.
Former Roadrunners tight end Leroy Watson will join the Atlanta Falcons as an undrafted free agent. Former UTSA cornerback Tariq Woolen got a phone call from the Seattle Seahawks, who drafted him in the 5th round, 153rd overall. He's the 4th Roadrunner drafted into the NFL. Dude has a rare blend of size, length, and speed. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll can't wait to see what Reek can do.
To get a kid that has this much potential, Tariq he's as tall and as fast and as long and as quick as you can hope for. And you know, I've always had a little lean to the tall guys. And so when he runs this fast and he's this hungry and he knows about our background, he knows our history, watching our guys over the years. And so I kind of like that, and we're going to give him a shot to see what he can do.
Former UTSA linebacker Charles Wiley is heading to Baltimore as an undrafted free agent, and linebacker Clarence Hicks signed an undrafted deal with the Bengals. Former Baylor Bears safety J.T. Woods was the first San Antonio area product to hear his name called in the 2022 NFL Draft. The L.A. Chargers drafted him in round 3 with the 79th overall pick. This morning we asked him, when did it hit him that he was drafted by the Chargers?
It really hit me last night when I kind of laid in the bed and kind of got to decompress from the party and all the calls and the Zoom calls that I had. Like, it just, for me to be a Charger is just awesome. Growing up watching LaDainian Tomlinson, and it's just awesome for me to be a part of that community and a part of the Bolt Up Nation.
Now that he's in the AFC West, JT will face 2 more San Antonio guys in the NFL, Broncos safety Caden Stearns and Raiders safety Trayvon Merrick. Pittsburgh Steelers drafted DeMarvin Leal in the 3rd round with pick number 84 last night. Then he flew out at 6:45 this morning to Pittsburgh to meet the coaching staff and take part in a fan event. So we asked the Big Ocho about waiting around to hear his name called.
Quite honestly, I was really just waiting on time. You know, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I said God's timing is going to be unbelievable. So, you know, just waiting, and then it happened. You know, it was unexpected and gets the call. And, you know, of course, TV was behind just a little bit, so had to still wait a little bit longer, but it was amazing.
Check out this video of former Rice defensive lineman Elijah Garcia getting big hugs at Willie's Ice House and Shirts earlier this evening. The Stevens alum will join the LA Rams as an undrafted free agent. So again, here's the 3 San Antonio area guys who were picked up in the 2022 NFL Draft. J.T. Woods from Still High School was picked in round 3. Defensive end DeMarvin Leal also heard his name called last night in round 3. He's joining the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in round 4, offensive lineman Spencer Burford from Wagner High School was selected by the San Francisco 49ers. Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy feels good about the draft. Plus, sincere McCormick news. We got it for you later in sports.
Lots more football to talk about. We'll look forward to it, Larry. Thanks.
Well, severe storms left a path of destruction in Andover, Kansas, when a tornado touched down, destroying dozens of homes and buildings.
Fortunately, though, no fatalities. That storm system now moving east and could impact areas like Chicago and St. Louis. Here's ABC's Phil Lipoff with the details.
A devastating tornado ripped through southeast Wichita and Andover, Kansas Friday night.
Oh my God.
Dozens of homes and buildings damaged, but remarkably, officials report only 4 people were injured.
We have no reports of fatalities. I continue to be happy to report that we have no rescues outstanding. So we have no one that we know of that is trapped in a building right now that's waiting for us to rescue them.
This man catching a glimpse of the tornado from his car.
My house is in that direction too. I hope it's there when we get there.
Both his and his neighbor's homes suffered extensive damage.
That's my neighbor's house back there. Thank God he wasn't home. His house is just gone.
These friends took shelter in a basement.
There was rumbling. The door opened and I was trying to figure out why there was so much wind. I looked up and some of the flooring for the upstairs was ripped up and I could only see just debris flying in the distance. I'm just glad to be alive.
They watched from below as part of the roof was torn off.
As soon as we heard, the rest of the house being taken apart and then we saw that part fly, it was just crazy being able to see outside, see all this stuff in the tornado.
Residents are now trying to salvage what they can. Authorities are asking everyone to stay away from the areas impacted.
A community like this, everyone wants to help. We're not ready to accept that yet.
Further south, parts of Oklahoma saw lightning, strong winds, and hail overnight.
It could just be a rain shaft.
This storm chaser in Oklahoma City not sure what to make of this.
There's nothing really to make out like a funnel or anything like that.
Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
Now, despite there being no deaths as a result of the tornado in Kansas, Oklahoma news outlets are reporting 3 University of Oklahoma meteorology students have died in a crash after coming back from storm chasing in Kansas. Their vehicle was stalled on the road and hit by an 18-wheeler. One of those killed was from Denton, Texas. In a statement from OU, the university says, quote, "Each were valued and loved members of our community," end quote.
President Joe Biden met one-on-one with Mexican President López Obrador yesterday as the White House prepares to roll back a major health care policy with huge implications for the border. In a statement, the White House said the two presidents committed to, quote, "build stronger tools for managing regional migration surges and improve their ability to manage their borders," end quote. The White House not disclosing whether the president had specific requests for Mexico, but insisting Biden's approach to the country's southern neighbor is far different than his predecessors.
Up to 250,000 Ford Explorers being recalled due to a rollaway risk. This is affecting Explorers from 2020 to 2022. That's according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Officials say a bolt in the rear axle could fracture and cause the drive shaft to disconnect, which increases the risk of the vehicle rolling away while parked. Officials say dealerships will replace or update parts free of charge. Owners are expected to be notified beginning June 6th.
Country music legend Naomi Judd has died at the age of 76. In The Judge, the duo she formed with her daughter Winona, Naomi Judd won 5 Grammys and charted 14 #1 hits. Her famous daughter, the actress Ashley Judd, announced her mother's tragic death on Twitter. Judd died from a mental illness, according to that tweet. Naomi Judd's death comes at the time the legendary country duo was making a return to the public eye. The Judds were scheduled to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame tomorrow. Naomi had performed for the first time in years just earlier this month on the CMT Music Awards and had plans for a concert tour to begin in September. Jazz is in the air in New Orleans, but it's the history behind Jazz Fest that is music to the ears. Finally back, Jazz Fest returning to New Orleans for the first time in 3 years.
That's good news. Crowds eager to hear the music just as a 100-year-old ban on jazz in public schools there has been lifted. ABC's Ike Ejachi has more from New Orleans.
Most cities in America have a unique history that unites people. Here in New Orleans, it's jazz music, and every year, some of the city's greatest acts perform at Jazz Fest, the 10-day cultural festival that attracts over 400,000 visitors each year, as well as musicians from around the world. It's an event that creates a $400 million economic impact on the local economy, the same amount as the Super Bowl. But its true origins started right here on the city's streets, where some of the world's best musicians got their start. Musicians like Doreen Ketchins.
Well, I was born and raised in the Treme, and I actually grew up 9 blocks away from here.
Doreen and her band have been playing on these streets for decades, a skill she cultivated while still in grade school, a common start for many musicians. But it was a start that was almost stopped right here in this city 100 years ago, when the city's school board banned jazz music from ever being taught in public schools.
There was no prior discussion, there was no analysis, there was no theoretical analysis of jazz.
Kenneth Ducati, a historian, found the obscure rule and says for the most part it was symbolic and not enforced. Still, he brought it to the attention of the school board that quickly overturned the ban.
It was really important for us to pass it because, to be honest, this is a policy that was rooted in racism.
Now, if that ban were put into place, it could have prevented schools like the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts from creating the next generation of jazz musicians like these kids right here. NOCA opened its doors in 1974, dedicated to providing an institution for the city's young talent, fostering soon-to-be superstars like John Baptiste, Wynton Marsalis, and Trombone Shorty. From the streets to the stage, Doreen, a student of NOCA herself, says her music education changed her life.
That was ABC's Ike Ejachi reporting. If you've never been to Jazz Fest and you don't like the craziness of Mardi Gras, check out Jazz Fest. It is some good times.
A good trip.
Yes,
Yeah.
lots more than jazz there, too.
All right, outside, it is warm, it's muggy. We're still sitting near 80 at the airport, mid to upper 70s. And the rain this evening tonight was focused across the hill country where we had some isolated severe storms. We're already at the end of April. That's very hard to believe. And you know what they say about tomorrow. There's an NSYNC song. You know, it's going to be.
It's going to be
May. It's going to be May. Oh, perfect. Chef's kiss. So
bye,
good.
bye, bye.
Well, you thought we weren't going to do. I'm shocked that Tim did it, actually.
Yeah.
You knew I was an
easy target. I think I blew it the way I sang it, but that's all right.
That's why I joined in.
This month, not super great for rainfall. We made up some ground earlier this week, but we still in the month below average. Also on the year, we're almost 5 inches below average in terms of rainfall. A few more chances as we get into next week. More on that coming up.
Maybe more singing, too.
Oh, well.
Hopefully.
The boy band people called and said, we're out. We're not allowed to join.
Just don't say we. Like, Katie and I are in. That was like our era. Don't take this away from us, Tim.
Okay.
It's true.
They said I wasn't allowed to join.
Eat your heart out one direction. There's only one in sync.
Only one in
This
sync.
newscast is going in one direction. You better take over.
Okay. Deep breaths. High temperatures today. It was warm. It's 90 in Hondo. Okay, you guys, come on. 90 in Hondo, 86 in the airport, 88 in New Braunfels. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. It was quite chilly across other parts of the country today. Not in Phoenix, 96 there, but look at Omaha, Minneapolis, Bismarck, 50s there for high temperatures. And that's because of a low pressure system spinning counterclockwise there, bringing some precipitation to parts of the Great Lakes. There was some severe weather around the Chicago area earlier today. And this is the same system that produced the severe weather across the plains yesterday. Now it's moving east here, and it's got a cold front attached to it. And it's producing some severe thunderstorms across parts of Arkansas, Mississippi, North Louisiana. Here in our part of the world, not as much severe weather action ongoing, but there is a cluster of really slow moving severe storms north of the Houston area, east of Bryan there. So still kind of active north of the Houston area there, but things have really settled down across the hill country here locally. All we've got left is that one little storm. Let me go back real quick so you can get a current view of radar. All we've got left is the one little, and it's not really even a storm anymore. It's just a shower well west of Rock Springs. But with some heavy rain, these storms being stationary, there is a flash flood warning out in far western Edwards County currently. Otherwise, we've just got the blow-off cloud cover from those hill country storms hanging around, leaving us mostly cloudy at the airport right now. Upper 70s. Winds are calm, and with humidity as high as it is, it actually feels a few degrees warmer, a couple degrees warmer than the actual air temperature at this hour. 79 Port SA, 78 Canyon Lake, 70 up in Kerrville, a spot that did get a little bit of rain from some of those isolated storms today. A look at your Sunday. It will be another warm and humid day. Clouds in the morning and a chance of some off and on light passing showers and a few sprinkles, mainly through the morning, lingering through early afternoon. Not as much clearing tomorrow. I don't expect that we'll see quite as much sun as what we saw today. But nonetheless, that'll put us in the mid to upper 80s, 78, 10 o'clock tomorrow night, and more wind tomorrow. The wind will be a lot more noticeable tomorrow than it was today. We do have a chance of some storms very late in the day tomorrow. And here's another look at that on Futurecast. Again, through the morning hours, early afternoon, some very light passing showers. And then by tomorrow evening, I'll start to look west for some dry line storms developing out in far west Texas. A couple forecast models want to hold these storms together all the way to the I-35 corridor very late tomorrow night, even after midnight, getting into the pre-dawn hours of Monday morning. Now, if they can make it here, by the time they get here, they're likely going to be pretty weak. I mean, we'll take the rain if we can get it. But there is a possibility that none of that activity from out west even gets here. If it does, it would get here well after sunset. For some folks, probably even closer to midnight, and will likely just be left with some lingering shower activity. And that could hang around into early on Monday. Speaking of lower end rain chances, that's really all we've got heading into next week through about Thursday. Some isolated showers and storms will be possible. And I think our best day to cash in is going to be Thursday of next week. And that's really because we're going to have a stronger low come in from the west, and that will help to provide a little bit more lift and just a slightly higher coverage of some isolated showers and storms. Maybe we can bump that rain chance up in a few days, but for now that looks like our next best day for rain chances here out of the next 7. Guys.
We made jokes and made Katie laugh and made it hard to do her job. So I'm saying nothing funny.
We will never be allowed to have fun on this show again.
We won't do it to Larry.
Larry, save us. What did the Cowboys do on draft day?
Well, you know what? The Cowboys certainly picked up some needs, in particular with the offensive line. Coming up, Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy talks about this draft class, and a Texans draft pick has something in common with Cal McNair. Coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
When it comes to the NFL draft, the goal of every team is to get better, and the Dallas Cowboys believe they've done that after picking 9 players, including 6 today to wrap up the draft. They selected 4 offensive players led by tackle Tyler Smith with their first overall selection. Defensively, they drafted 5 rookies, including defensive tackle John Ridgway, a 6'5", 321-pound space eater. Coach McCarthy feels good about this class.
Every prospect speaks for himself, but what they bring as a class is, to me, this business is about stacking success, and from my perspective, this is 3 draft classes now that we've stacked together that I think really holds the future bright for us. Draft and develop is the bloodline, lifeline of how you want to build your football team inside and out. Obviously, we were able to hit positions of need, and but I really like the way everything came together as far as putting the board together, and frankly we were very disciplined and patient and stuck to our board.
The boys will add nearly 20 more rookie free agents during the next couple of days. Now, the Houston Texans drafted 9 players, including 4 more today. They selected LSU cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. with their first-round selection, 3rd overall, and Texas A&M offensive guard Kenyon Green with the 15th overall pick in round 1. Their last pick in the 6th round was offensive tackle Austin Deculus from LSU, who shares something in common with Texans owner Cal McNair.
One of the few players that, I'd say Cal McNair has a lot in common with, since they went to the same high school. So I think that was a pretty funny moment on a call when they kind of shared that little tidbit. So I think he's a little bit better player than Cal was. No offense. I'm sure Cal crushed me for that, but I think that's okay. But, talking about a guy, it's a 4-year starter in the SEC and played, 50 some odd games, whatever the heck it was. So pretty consistent player, 6'5", 310 pounds, got 34-inch arms. Runs 5 flat, which I'd say for an offensive lineman, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. The Texans drafted players in every position group other than quarterback. And UTSA running backs and Sarah McCormick, who went undrafted, will attend the Seattle Seahawks rookie minicamp. The Judson Rocket will now get to show off what he can do. Plus, he'll get to join his UTSA teammate, Tariq Woolen. San Antonio FC played at home tonight against expansion side Monterey Bay FC out of California. This was no match at all. SAFC scored first in the 21st minute, and that was the beginning of the end for Monterey Bay. SAFC wins 6-0, scoring 3 goals in the final 17 minutes, and 6 different players scored. All right, George Springer and the Toronto Blue Jays hosting the Houston Astros, as Springer tore up his former ball club today. Bottom of the first, Springer leading off, and he goes deep to left and over the head of Chaz McCormick for a solo home run and a 1-0 Blue Jays lead. His 46th career leadoff homer ties Jimmy Rollins for 6th most in MLB history. Springer's the next at bat. He does the same thing again to starting pitcher Luis Garcia. Another solo job to left field, and it's 2-0 Toronto. Springer's 18th career multi-home run game in the leadoff spot breaks the tie with Mookie Betts for second all-time. The Blue Jays go up 2-0, and Toronto wins it 2-1, snapping the Astros' 4-game winning streak, and the Rangers beat the Braves 3-1. And in Texas League play, the Missions had a nice night at the plate. They beat the Cardinals 7-3. Guys,
way to go, Missions. Thank you, Larry.
We'll be right back.